one I803866. And if you follow my channel, you may have noticed that I did a video fiddling with this Compaq Armada 1580 DMT. Well, I'm going to make a video very similar to that. This one's going to cover a few upgrades. So today I'm going to show you how to do the RAM, hard drive, CMOS battery, and, well, inadvertently keyboard. So let's dig right into it. First thing is first, as always, make sure there is no power of any kind to the machine. So in this case, you want to pull the battery out. This one actually does hold a charge. Floppy. If you're an expert on these at all, you'll probably know how to do this. You just lift the latch out. You'll need to remove those things anyway to get the keyboard off, which I'm going to do right now. There are typically 3 screws. 1, 2, 3. You need a Torx T8 to get to them. I only have 2 in my keyboard. This one came with the 3rd one missing. So, no problem. I'll find a screw later for that. That's the least of my concerns. Try not to lose the screws like I just did. And, oh, I don't know what that plastic piece is, but I don't think that's supposed to come out. I have no idea what that is. That's not that important, right? All right. And let's see if I can not. There we go. See it right there. Dump that. Now you got to open up the computer. Voila. And now you want to lift the keyboard. You may need a small flathead screwdriver or a plastic prying tool to get under it. Try to go. Oh, this one's going to be real easy for me. Oh, here we go. Right here would be a good place to do your work. And you just lift that out of the way. It should sit. I don't know what's going on here. Okay. Well, this is embarrassing. Anywho, so you have 3 major components here. Well, 2.5. Right here is going to be your hard drive. Here's your RAM, and here is the CMOS batteries underneath this cover. To get the CMOS battery, I'll do that one first. All you gotta do, there's a little tab right there. You pull that out, and you pull out your wire, and there you go. It's a CR2032 with some spot welding. I'm not sure what JST connector's on there, but we're gonna find that out soon, and hopefully at least have the batteries available to you. Next, I'll do the RAM. 2 metal tabs. That's the theory. You get one, you'll get the other. There you go. Held in there really nicely. And that's it. You just put your new one in. We're going to pretend this is a new one. 64 meg Edo RAM is the biggest you can go. Some models taking up to 80 megs or 96 megs, depending on what onboard memory, non-removable, that you may have. The hard drive is very easy as well. You got to take these 2 screws off. Again, your Torx T8 will handle that purpose just fine. And plastic piece comes right up, no issue. And then you have a nice little handle here for you. And then at this point, you are 4 screws away, 1, 2, 3, 4 away from getting your hard drive out. And do keep in mind, this may be attached glued in fairly well, especially if it's the original drive. This obviously isn't, because I did replace it in the last video, suspecting that the old hard drive was a goner. And we're going to take the Ken information off because we don't need it anymore, because this is definitely not from the Dell D610. And the nice thing about the Armada 1500 series caddies is you do have a little variety on hard drives. You can go a little bit thicker. This is the original. I believe this is a 12 millimeter drive. And this one doesn't have it, but if you have other 12 millimeter drives and you use these holes, it's compatible as well. So there is a little variety you can do with hard drives in this machine. Haven't personally tried any compact flash to IDE, but I imagine that 4 gigs is probably going to be your limit. I imagine it'd probably work fine. Otherwise, so I did try to put a 60 gig drive in this machine, and the machine detected it fine as an 8 gig drive, but I couldn't do anything with it. Even loading the utilities for the BIOS on it was a major mission, and I just gave up and went with the 6. And obviously, installation is the reverse of removal. But before I go, I'll have to do a magic of video editing moment on this one. I want to see what kind of connector this exactly is, in case you want to rebuild one of these yourself. If you're handy with a spot welder, or if you're really brave. I don't personally recommend the method, but you could solder something on, but that doesn't. That's generally not best practice. It's not recommended. So, magic of video editing. We will see if I can determine what kind of connector that is, and then go from there. Alright, well, good news is I was very easily able to identify what this CMOS battery connector is. It is a JST SH 1.0 millimeter 2-wire. Couple pieces of bad news for me. This bag I have here, I have no idea where in the world it came from. Just some random. I can't use it for these as the wires are too short, unless I solder something on. I could. The second piece of bad news for me, if I'm going to remake these battery packs, is that the only place that I can seem to find these are in China. Now, if you're in China, that's good, because at least you have them locally. But I have to wait a couple weeks to start building these, so unfortunately, that part kind of sucks. So, but not the end of the world, but if you are brave and you want to build one on your own, if you already have one, you can probably reuse the nickel strips that are on the battery and you'll be okay. So that's pretty much it. So reverse removal, you have 2, 3, 4 tabs. You want to slide them in like so. Shut the computer. A little uneasy at what that little component is, but oh, you know what? I think that is. Oh, that's what that is. So if you have a second battery, you just slide that over and it makes it look pretty. Okay, that's cool. Little fun fact, I owned an Armada 1571 DM. It's my first 2 laptops, actually, as the first one did blow up. Well, it didn't blow up exactly, but it did die. It gave me a 9 and 2 happy faces, and that was the last life I've ever seen of it ever again, so I bought a second one at a steep discount, and that one lasted until I threw it out, with great regret of throwing it out. That's another life lesson I'll say for another day. You can put your stuff back in. Now, I did remove the CMOS battery, so it's going to do a slow RAM count. But the battery does hold a charge, so that is good news. And this light is just really unfortunate. You'll have a little while to wait if you have 96 megs of RAM. That's just the way it is. I don't think the keyboard works in this machine. So that's a little disclaimer. If I can't get into the setup, that's why. Temperamental little thing. Now, why we're sitting here like this is gonna make me look like a fool here. Finally. Maybe that's what these things do when a CMOS battery's pulled. I'm not entirely sure. Alright, let's try F10. Maintenance partition error. Can't win. But regardless, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to leave the video at that. If you have any questions, comments, constructive criticism, please feel free to leave them in the comments section. Do my best to answer your questions on this machine, as my memory has not served me right on the last video, so there may be some research involved. And as far as CMOS batteries, I'm going to try and build some, but unfortunately the cable is only available in China from what I can tell, so it's going to take a couple weeks to get stuff here. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and you'll see all sorts of these crazy shenanigans involving Compaq laptops and sometimes some IBM, but they'll be mostly Compaq. If you like vintage Compaqs, this is the place for you. So thank you again for watching.